What are their resources? First of all, does the country have the resources to go and fight these fires? Do they want to fight these fires? Is that we now consider what it's being burnt a resource, right? We don't want the pines, like you don't want those trees to be burnt because you're cutting them for fuel and for wood, right? So we stop forest fires to protect the values found there. The cottages, the eagle's nests, all of those are values that we take into account, and that's why we no longer let the forest fires run rampant, because we have to protect those values that we use later on.
Let's refocus, because I want to talk about the Amazon fires, right? Because right now it's huge on Instagram and all social media, and for me, once movements like that start going on and you see everybody posting about them, I see it a lot like propaganda, right? Who's gaining from all these ads? I'm not saying I don't care about the Amazon, but somebody's creating all these ads for a reason, right? So I just look at all those ads and everybody posting about it. I'm like, okay, that's going on. What's really going on? What's the real reason? Obviously, do you know anything about the Amazon fires?
Yes, I have informed myself through social media, right?
Okay.
So the news. I would agree with you. It's news in these days, so let's just put a little tangent on my perspective on news. News, unfortunately, I've seen it throughout time, they've had to become a bit more exaggerated in the way that they
essentialize whatever they're doing, so it's like filled with emotion.
Exactly, to capture the audience, because we have information so readily available to us now. We have podcasts with very informed people that have a lot of knowledge, right, on this particular subject and many more. We have Instagram. Information is readily available for us at a click of a button, or hey Siri, So I feel as though, and I think from what I've seen in the trends, the news have become a bit more exaggerated, and they have used more techniques to capture the audience, trying to focus on maybe what's not really should be focused, right? Not to say that news are all lies. They're just changed their focus, perhaps.
It's a business.
Exactly.
It's a
Follow
business
the money.
that they want to get more money. They want to get more views.
Yes.
And I'm a little hesitant on believing non-profit organizations like charities. That's just my personal view. Just keep some facts. Let's go through some facts. Once a forest fire starts, is there anything we can do as human beings to stop it?
Depends on the fire, right? Depends on the fuel type, depends on the topography, depends on the weather. If you have, right now, Ontario is at a drought state. Fires will pop and will burn very quickly if you have the right winds, the right ignition type, and the right dryness. So there's no humidity, right? Your relative humidity is pretty low right now. We haven't had rain in a very long time. Those indices are indicative of maybe we're gonna have a late forest fire season in Ontario. Now, at the scale at which we are observing these forest fires in the Amazon, we are talking about like a lot of area. What are their resources? First of all, does the country have the resources to go and fight these fires? Do they want to fight these fires? Is this something that you would like, the country sees as, do they have the budget, or is it within their budget to go and spend
probably millions and millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars to save the forest? I understand that there are perhaps a lot of individuals that are concerned with the carbon that may be released and what that means for climate change in such a large scale. Nevertheless, if you're concerned about a forest fire, which is a natural event, this ecosystem has evolved to have cyclical forest fires. Some plants, such as jack pine, for example, to bring it down to a more localized environment, needs fire to open up its cones. Without it, it doesn't. So plants have evolved to have these events throughout their lifetime. Forest fires also, they break down all of the nutrients and it goes down. Now, of course, depending on the intensity, some forest fires can burn down to the mineral soil, and then that's when you have your loss of soil. Yes, that's also a thing. I am aware of that. But the thing is that if you're concerned about losing the Amazon, then be concerned about losing it due to agriculture, not because of a forest fire. A forest fire is more of a natural event than agriculture. Agriculture, you have clearance of a natural, unprecedented clearance of the forest to put in monocultures in place.
What's a monoculture?
A monoculture is a single species plantation.
So basically...
just corn just soybeans, which is not good because you deplete... Corn is a C3 species that really depletes your soil nutrition, right? Hence, there's lots of studies done that show that crop rotation is better because then you're able to put in your beans, your legumes, which absorb nitrogen and deposit it back into your soil and provide that to other plants. And then if you rotate it with something that's very ferociously absorbing those nutrients from the soil, such as corn, then at least you're gonna have the next growing season, you're gonna have something that's gonna put nutrients back into your soil. So soil is a very important aspect of this. So in my personal and professional discretion, I feel as though it becomes a bit too much of a panic when these things happen, because you just mentioned keywords, right? Oh, climate change. Oh, carbon sequestration. Oh, the Amazon is one of the biggest rainforests. You're like, okay, yeah, but there has been, the Amazon has been under threat from various types of things throughout
existence,
right?